Today I'll be talking about these three notebooks, especially this one because this one was the one notebook challenge and I've been using it for 6 days now. I still haven't finished the two last entries, which is today and for tomorrow, obviously, but I have so many comments already and I think my experience with it already taught me so much and I wanted to discuss that today. But first of all, I want to talk about this one because I have a new product for this one and it will be much faster than the others. So let's start with this one. So I've been also using my habit tracker here and I found it very useful so far. It creates a very interactive experience when you go in to remove one of the bullet points when the habit is done and then using that for to-do lists. I found that very interesting and it's so satisfying that it has a dual purpose. So this one has been really great so far and has helped me to keep track of my habits as well. For the bullet points, the remaining, what I will be doing is at the end of the month, when I finish with this, I will take a photo so I can go back to it and see what kind of habits I was tracking at the time and also how much of that I've done throughout the month. But obviously, when this is done at the end of April, I'll just use it as bullet points as well. This will not go to waste for sure. And the new product that I've designed for the field notes is the pocket sticker. And this one is something that I've been thinking about from the beginning when I created these stickers. I used to use like a clip to hold them, but it wasn't very convenient for me. So I needed a sleeve like this. And I was even able to fit this little calendar that comes with the field notes as well. And this, I think, holds about 6 stickers easily. This is less, obviously. But I think you can fit 6 in here, which I think is a lot. Like, I don't even have that much. But I find it so convenient and easy to use. And it does the job, you know, it keeps the stickers in place. Like, I don't have to worry about them just sliding off. So I think this one will be the most useful. I'll be adding this to the shop today because I need to print a few more of these. I was putting my stickers here with the clip. It just did not work for me at all. Other than the habit tracker that I want to keep sort of loose. And it's not really a problem because it doesn't really slide out because it's just one. The rest were easily sliding out and I felt that I needed something to keep them in place. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. And I'm really glad I created this. It's so much fun to use. For this week, I was not using this at all. As I said, I was doing the one notebook challenge, so I wasn't allowed, let's say, to use this one. The only way that I used it, let's say, is to design this new product. But other than that, I did not take any notes in this throughout this week. And I'll just start using this again on Monday. So yeah, I think we can move on to the next one. I will do this one first because I think I have more to say about this one. I'll just do a quick update. I started to do another dual spread, but so far I only have one page ready. But this is the first time that I actually filmed the whole process. So you can see how I sketched it out and how I wrote the text and all of that. I'm not sure if I filmed this part. I think I did. So I'll be adding the video here to show the whole process. This time I feel that this is quite different. It's not done yet, obviously, but I made a mistake and I used a different color pen, which is not such a big deal, but I would so much prefer the previous one because it's more brown. This looks a little bit orange. It still kind of looks brown, but I don't know. I did not like the fact that I did this by accident. If it was more like a conscious decision, I wouldn't mind. But it was just accidental, and I started writing the text, and I couldn't stop. I couldn't go back. And since I used a different color pen, I said, okay, whatever, let's just use a different pen for the sketch as well. And I think it looks good. I don't mind it, but I don't like how it looks in comparison to the others. But again, I'm really trying to embrace just letting go of perfectionism, because it's something that has really stopped me in the past from moving forward and doing all of these projects. It was always like the idea that they have to be perfect, no mistakes, this and that. But I'm learning to embrace the mistakes. I'm learning to embrace the idea that it's okay. It's okay if you make a mistake. It's okay if it doesn't look perfect. It's okay. Like, no one cares. And even if anybody cares, I don't care. I shouldn't care, right? So I'm really trying to embrace that. And it's been hard because I was so fixated on perfection. When you're in the process of doing things, especially creative things, you cannot stop mistakes from happening, or imperfections, or just in general getting a result that you were not really expecting. You just cannot get away from that. If you keep doing things and you do them often, mistakes will happen often. So I really don't want that to be the reason that I stop making art. And I really want to embrace it and say that every time I make a mistake, I tell myself that it's because I'm doing something. When you're doing things, mistakes will happen. So instead of feeling horrible about myself and just fixating on that mistake, I feel proud of myself instead for actually doing things and actually being creative. So it's helped me to sort of shift my perspective on that. But yeah, I really hope I can continue filming the whole process for this. It used to be a little bit too much pressure for me to film while I sketch and refine my sketch and my line art. But now I think that I feel more comfortable with it, so I think I will try to film more and show this sort of time lapse of creating the pages. I'm hoping to have some time, perhaps today or tomorrow, to finish the rest of the spread, which will be for the same creature here, which is a dragon snail, let's say. So it's a mix between a snail and a dragon. I won't be saying anything else because I'll be revealing things from the story that are not really meant to be out yet. I'm trying to keep the story a little bit under wraps because, first of all, it's not done yet. It's in its very initial stages. And I don't want to say something that will not end up in the final story. And this is the world building stage anyway, so I don't want to share information and then at the end sort of disappointing people or creating these expectations. So I just want to show the sketching process and the images. And these are basically notes for my eventual graphic novel, right? So these are not really going to be part of the graphic novel. This is just for me to process information, to develop the story. And I think very importantly, two things: to actually practice drawing, because this is all new to me as well. So it's for practicing and also for getting an idea of the style that I want and exploring different illustration styles. I mean, not really exploring because I'm always doing the same style, but more like practicing the style and perfecting it. Not perfecting, not perfecting, just becoming better at it and practicing. And already you can see a difference between all of the spreads, like especially from the latest one. looks very different because I use different pens as well. So yeah, this notebook, the purpose of it is for me to practice and to write notes and ideas about the graphic novel and to process the information and also to get inspiration for what to write next or what to draw next. So yeah, this is not really that accurate in terms of story. That's why I'm not really sharing anything. But I will be starting very soon to share pieces of information on the story as soon as I have something more solid, I guess. And also, it won't be on this channel. This channel, I'll just be sharing the notebook, and I'll be creating a different channel for the actual story and the actual graphic novel that will be created at the end, because I do want to separate this project from the rest of my projects. And also, I'm not sure if my audience is interested in world building and fantasy. So I think it's more appropriate to create a separate channel for this, just to make sure that people are interested in this and just to have a dedicated space for that specific project, which I feel is quite different than everything else that I'm doing. So I think it deserves its own space. So yeah, this is the update for this one. I'm really hoping to finish the rest of the spread today and film it. If it's not today, it's probably going to be tomorrow. So I'll be updating next week for this one. So yeah, let's move on to the star of the show, which is the one notebook that I've been using for the past week. Still haven't finished, obviously. I have today and tomorrow. I have so many comments on this, so many. I wrote a list actually on how it has helped me, but I think we should go over each page and explain how I've been using it and how useful it has been. So the first page, I marked it as daily. Also, I created some bookmark tabs for this specifically. Although I'm not sure if I'll be releasing these specific colors, I already created these colors for the tabs. And I think it makes more sense because it goes with the planner kit that I created. So I think I'll be releasing this one as a companion to the kit that I created for the weeks. I'm really happy with this because they are big enough so I can write something, which was very important to me. And I do like these colors as well. I'm not sure if I'll be releasing them. I do plan to release more planner kits, so I'll be sort of matching these colors, the same color palette from the planner kit, and matching with the bookmarks. I just think it would make more sense like that. So yeah, the first page I named it daily, that's the bookmark, and this is the things that I do daily in my projects. I have to say I haven't been using this as much. Maybe I'm glancing over it, but I haven't really used it in a way because I started to remember the things that I want to do, so I didn't really need to reference this, but I'm glad this is here and I'm glad it's on the first page as well, because as soon as I open, I sort of just glance at it and then move on to the rest. I was using this way longer, like a month or 2 weeks. I would eventually come back and reference this to see what I want to do or to remind myself of my projects. But yeah, for just a week or basically 5 days, I haven't been using it that much. The second page was supposed to be something else. I was supposed to put like my interests and my hobbies and become like an inspiration page. But I never ended up doing that, and I felt that I was so busy that I needed another to-do list. So I just ended up using it as a to-do list with my bullet points here. And I am planning on creating new bullet points just for the weeks or these smaller notebooks, because this one was for the field notes anyway. And I think that the same size or similar size bullet point is great, but the difference will be that it will be in this shape because it just fits better. But I will be adding a sleeve here as well. I haven't designed the sleeve for this one because it will not be a craft paper sleeve. It has to be something else. I don't know if I want to make it white, just a plain white sleeve, or if I want to put some design on it. So yeah, well, the sleeve is going to be very useful to just slide things here, and also for the wicks as well. For now, I just have it loose like this, but I wanted to create bullet points just for the wicks as well. For now, I've been using the ones that I had left over from the field notes. This one, obviously, just a to-do list. That's how it started. What I do basically is as soon as something comes to mind, an idea or anything that I want to do, I write it first in the to-do list and then I transfer it to the week, because obviously I can't do all of this in a day. But at the same time, I don't want to forget what I want to do. So I just write it down and it doesn't have a specific date. So when I'm building the to-do list of the day, I come back to this and see what I can do for that day and just transfer that. And I put an arrow here just to indicate that I have already put it on my schedule, or I check it when it's done basically. And I cross things when I'm not going to end up doing that, or it will be transferred to a much later date. But yeah, this one has been very useful as well. So much that I had to create another one. So yeah, I don't regret that I didn't create the inspiration page, because this week I was sort of very focused on my tasks. So I didn't feel that I needed reminding or inspiration for any of this. So yeah, I didn't end up doing that, and that's fine. I don't regret that. The next two pages were just for ideas, and this is product ideas and some sketching here. I definitely needed 2 spreads, and I'm glad that I did 2 spreads because I ended up filling that up in 5 days. So I do have still some ideas that I want to develop, but this was very useful. I usually do this in the field notes. So the field notes are dedicated to my ideas and developing ideas and sketching. So I had to bring it here as well because I was going to be using this for a week. And this has been very useful as well. And I'm glad that it's with everything else, because as soon as I open, I just glance at this as well. And that has really helped me to be able to glance at everything, because everything is together. It's not in different notebooks. And that, I feel, has kept my projects more alive and more active than when I have them in separate notebooks. So that element of having everything in one has really helped me to become more productive and more active with my projects as well, because it's just a reminder. As soon as you open, you just glance over everything. You're immediately reminded of everything. So you sort of set the mood for each day to be creative and productive and efficient. So yeah, that was a really great element here. The next 2 spreads were for my budget. I haven't really worked on this much because it was just for a week. I don't think I spent that much in a week, but I did use this one for long-term savings and sort of my goals for budgeting. So this one, even though I didn't spend much time on it, it's a staple. It has to exist. So, and finances obviously are important. So again, glancing over this was important to sort of set the mood for the week. And it's just a staple. It had to exist, and I don't regret doing this. If I was to use this for longer, for 2 weeks or a month, this would come in handy to just put in my expenses and my monthly payments and all of that. And also my long-term savings goals, which might change as well. So I can come in and make some adjustments as well. This one was the weekly schedule. It was really helpful to have the planner kit. I just came in, put all the stickers, and it was ready to go. But this one, I think I used it more for memory keeping, because I was actually using the entries for the to-do list. So instead of having this in front of me, I had the entries more. But this one definitely is useful to see, to go back to and see what I actually did for that day, because this to-do list is not realistic. It's just a general to-do list. It doesn't mean that I did those things in that specific day. So this one was very useful as well. This was my most beautiful spread, so it was really nice to see every day and very inspiring and sort of sets the mood for the day and the week. I really wish that I had created the other bookmarks with these colors because it would match so nicely, but I don't mind it. I think it still looks nice. But yeah, this one I haven't used as much. But it's definitely very useful for referencing things and keeping things organized, and definitely being able to go back and see what I did that day. And even by glancing at this, you can see which days were more productive and which days were less productive. So that's important to me as well. And moving on, these are the daily entries. I split this into two parts, which was the to-do list and the daily log here. It was really great to take a break from my other notebook, which was very art heavy, let's say. I had to do doodles every day, which is great and very creative and really helps with my art and practicing. But I really needed a break from it. And this one was so refreshing. I only used one color. I did not do any doodles. The only thing that I did was the date here. I didn't feel the need to do anything else. And I ended up really liking this layout. It made me reconsider using that as my journal instead of using a bigger one. Although I did feel that I needed more space here. So I'm not sure. I'm really leaning towards the Hobonichi Cousin at this point because using this setup, which is very similar to a Hobonichi Cousin and how people use that with the to-do list and the daily log, I think that it will definitely work for me. Of course, as I said many times, I will not be changing my system for this year. I will wait for the end of the year before I make any changes, mainly because I want to be able to explore as many things as possible. And honestly, I think by the end of the year, I might change my opinion completely or my perspective on planning and journaling. I just want to give myself time to make sure that I know what I want and that I have tried enough things and experimented enough to know exactly what I want by the end of the year. But this one was a great experience and it has taught me a lot. And I think I wrote a list here. So here I say that it's very convenient that I don't have to grab anything else. This is the only thing that I had to grab for the day, which was so convenient, and it's so light and small. So it was just much easier in terms of efficiency. Whenever I had like an idea, I would just immediately grab the same notebook, right? So that was very convenient. I say that all in one place and just glancing over things to set the mood for the day and to, let's say, activate my productivity and creativity. No pressure to decorate, for sure. That was lovely. I didn't pressure myself to make doodles or to do any elaborate layouts, which helped me to focus more on my tasks and on designs outside of my notebooks, which is basically creating products that I want to create and illustrating and all that. So that was really great. Focus on efficiency and tasks, as I mentioned before. And it helped to identify my needs because I was forced to put everything here. I was kind of forced to recognize what do I need for daily planning. So that was very helpful as well. So that was my list. So I still have two spreads here. I'm really glad that I have these because these 2 days will be busy, so I wouldn't be able to do the elaborate designs that I do in my other journal. And then we have some notes here. These are just general notes that came to mind and I didn't know where else to put it. So I created another. These are the new actually. the new bookmarks that I created, I didn't start with these initially. So by going through this process, it helped me to identify that, okay, I need some notes. I need some extra space for this. So this is just another project that I was doing, and I felt the need to create a new spread for it here just to write everything down. And then this one is completely new. I haven't done it in any of my notebooks, and it's to write ideas for meals. And this is just suggestions, it's not recipes or anything like that. It's suggestions for what to cook, and with a focus on healthy meals, which I usually struggle with. Whenever I'm hungry or I want to eat something, my brain goes blank and I don't know what I want. So by writing a list of things and reminding myself that these foods exist in a way, it has really helped me. And I would probably continue to write recipes or more detailed suggestions, and just in general more ideas on what I like to eat, and also more categories like comfort food or like breakfast, dinner, lunch, all of that. So I think I will be adding this to my other notebooks probably in the weeks, because I don't want to start a new notebook for that. And that was it. I still have pages here I will be using at some point, but obviously this was just for a week, so I won't be writing in this next week. But it has really helped me overall to identify my needs, and I think I will be looking at my notebooks very differently from now on. And I still haven't decided what to do with my notebooks and how I'll be changing the way that I use them. But next week, when I finish with this and I go back to them, I will be sort of reconsidering everything, and just to see what works for me now and what doesn't after this experiment, because my perspective has changed on everything. And I think that, and this was my goal, to be honest, from the beginning. My goal was to have one notebook for everything. Obviously, I'm not considering creative projects like this. This is very different. But this was my goal to begin with. And eventually, at the end of the year, I think I want to pursue this. I want to have one notebook for everything. But I don't know why it hasn't worked for me so far. I think because I was such a beginner in planning and journaling, I wasn't really aware of my needs, and I didn't have enough experience to make this work. But I think after this experiment and also after using all of my notebooks, I think I'll be ready at some point to move to a one notebook system. So yeah, this has been really great. And I'm very glad that I did this. And also I want to take a moment to thank everyone who is watching and subscribing to my channel. This means so much to me because in my everyday life, I don't really have anyone to share this with. If I shared this stuff with anyone in my family or friend group or anything like that, I would be just annoying people. And I understand it's not their fault. They are not in this kind of world, like the planning and journaling world. They wouldn't understand most of the things that I say, and also they would just not be interested. And I understand that. It's like a special interest, it's a special hobby, and I don't expect people to understand. But being able to share it with people who do understand and do appreciate what I do, people who have the same exact interests and hobbies with me, that's just so wonderful to me. I feel so connected to everybody, especially people who comment and talk about these things. It's just a reminder that I'm not alone, that I'm not crazy for doing this or being so interested in notebooks and stationery. And it just creates this sense of community for me that I needed for so long. And I'm just so grateful for everyone here. And I just wanted to take a moment to say that. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for engaging with me, for watching my videos. and for being interested in what I have to say. That is so important to me. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.